Welcome to the battlefield where you are most vulnerable. We are not talking about a courtroom or a dinner table argument, we are talking about the bedroom. You are here because you have experienced a specific, haunting type of cruelty that is rarely discussed but deeply felt. You know the feeling of lying next to someone you love, completely exposed, only to have your confidence systematically dismantled by a subtle comment, a heavy sigh, or a cold rejection. You entered the intimacy expecting connection, but you left feeling uglier, smaller, and more broken than before. This is not a mismatch of libidos. This is sexual sabotage, and it is one of the darkest weapons in the narcissist's arsenal. You remember the beginning, don't you? The love-bombing phase where they couldn't keep their hands off you. They made you feel like the most desirable creature on earth. That was the setup. They lifted you up to the clouds only so the drop would be fatal. Now, that same person looks at you with a mixture of boredom, criticism, or outright disgust. They make jokes about your body while you are naked. They pick fights right before intimacy to kill the mood, then blame you for being moody. It feels like you are going crazy because the shift was so subtle, so gradual, that you didn't realize you were being conditioned to hate your own skin. The haunting question that keeps you awake at night is, why? Why would someone who claims to love you want to destroy your sexual confidence? Why would they sabotage the very act that is supposed to bring you closer? You look in the mirror and tear yourself apart, searching for flaws, convinced that if you just lost 5 pounds, or tried that new trick, or looked like the people they follow on Instagram, the magic would return. But the magic isn't missing because of your body, the magic was murdered by their pathology. They are not sabotaging the sex, they are sabotaging you. This form of abuse is particularly insidious because it targets your primal sense of worth. Sexuality is tied to our deepest identity, our vitality, and our feeling of being alive. When a narcissist targets this area, they are striking at the core of your being. They want you to feel undesirable to everyone else so that you will never leave them. It is a strategy of isolation. If they can make you believe that you are lucky they even touch you, you will accept the crumbs of their affection and tolerate their abuse in every other area of your life. It is a cage built out of your own insecurity. You might have noticed the timing. Just when you are feeling good about yourself, maybe you got a promotion or you dressed up for a night out, that is when they strike. They will make a comment about your outfit being too much, or give you a look that says you're trying too hard. They cannot stand to see you confident. Your confidence threatens their control. So, they use intimacy, or the withholding of it, to put you back in your place. They weaponize your desire for them against you, turning your passion into a source of shame. The confusion is paralyzing. One minute they are demanding sex, treating you like an object. The next, they are pushing you away, acting as if your touch is repulsing them. This push-pull dynamic creates a trauma bond. You become addicted to earning their approval, desperate to get back to that initial golden period. You start performing in the bedroom, not for your own pleasure, but to avoid their criticism. You become a spectator in your own body, constantly monitoring yourself through their critical eyes. Is this okay? Do I look okay? Are they happy? We often think of abuse as shouting or hitting, but silence in the bedroom can be louder than a scream. The narcissist's refusal to kiss you, their refusal to look you in the eye during intimacy, or their habit of turning over and going to sleep immediately after they finish, these are acts of aggression. They are communicating a clear message: you are a utility, not a person. They strip the act of humanity, leaving you feeling like a discarded wrapper. This coldness freezes your soul. They may also introduce triangulation into the sacred space of intimacy. They talk about what their ex used to do, or they openly stare at others in front of you, or they consume pornography compulsively while rejecting you. This is not accidental. They are manufacturing a competition that you are destined to lose. They want you to feel that you are competing for the prize of their body, while they sit back and judge your performance. It devalues you and inflates their ego simultaneously. You have likely spent years blaming yourself. You have bought the lingerie, read the books, gone to the gym, and cried in the bathroom. You have internalized their projection. But today, the gaslighting ends. We are going to expose this behavior for what it is, a calculated psychological dismantling of your ego. They are not unsatisfied lovers, They are emotional vampires who feed on your insecurity. The more insecure you are, the more powerful they feel. Prepare yourself. We are about to walk into the dark psychology of sexual sabotage. We are going to dissect why they do it, how they do it, and the devastating impact it has on your psyche. This is not just about bad sex. This is about the systematic murder of your self-esteem. But once you see the mechanism, you can jam the gears. You can stop taking the poison. Let's reveal the secret knowledge they don't want you to have. To understand sexual sabotage, you must understand the narcissist's relationship with power. For a narcissist, sex is not about connection. It is about regulation and domination. True intimacy requires vulnerability, enmeshment, and a temporary loss of control. This terrifies them. To protect their fragile ego from the threat of vulnerability, they must maintain the upper hand at all times. By criticizing you or withholding from you, they remain the judge and keep you as the supplicant. They feel safe only when you are begging or insecure. The mechanism of projection plays a massive role here. Deep down, the narcissist carries a core of toxic shame. They feel empty, dirty, and inadequate. Instead of facing this, they project these feelings onto you. When they look at you with disgust or criticize your body, they are actually talking to their own shadow. They are trying to export their self-loathing into your psyche. You become the container for their shame. They leave the encounter feeling clean and superior because they have dumped their psychological garbage into you. We must look at the somatic supply dynamic. Somatic narcissists derive their worth from their physical appearance and sexual prowess. However, they are also prone to extreme envy. If you are a sexual being, if you have passion, vitality, and a capacity for deep pleasure, they envy that. They hate that you can lose yourself in the moment because they cannot. They are always watching, always performing. So, they sabotage your pleasure to bring you down to their level of deadness. If they can't feel joy, you shouldn't either. The Pavlovian conditioning they use is brutal. In the beginning, they rewarded your desire with intense affection. Now, they punish it. If you initiate, they reject you. If you express a fantasy, they mock it. Over time, your brain starts to associate sexual expression with pain and humiliation. You learn to shut down. You learn to suppress your libido to stay safe. This is not a low sex drive. This is a survival response. They have trained you like a dog to be afraid of your own nature. Consider the Madonna whore complex that often plagues narcissistic minds. They cannot integrate love and desire. If they love you, in their twisted way, or rely on you for stability, they often lose sexual interest because they view you as a maternal, paternal figure. To feel desire, they need to degrade the object. So, they sabotage the intimacy with you to justify seeking dirty supply elsewhere, or they try to degrade you in the bedroom to trigger their own arousal, ignoring your boundaries and comfort. Withholding is perhaps the most common form of sabotage. It is a passive-aggressive weapon. By denying you intimacy, they control your self-esteem. They know that physical touch is a basic human need and a way you feel loved. By starving you, they make you weak. When you are starved, you will do anything for a crumb. They enjoy the power of seeing you desperate, asking what is wrong, and trying to win them back. Your desperation is their fuel. Then there is the comparison trap. They will subtly or overtly compare you to others, celebrities, ex-partners, or even random strangers. Why don't you look like that? My ex used to do this. This is designed to induce body dysmorphia and anxiety. A partner who is anxious and self-conscious cannot be present or powerful. They want you distracted by your own perceived flaws so that you never notice theirs. It keeps the spotlight off their inadequacies. Intermittent reinforcement keeps you hooked. They don't sabotage you 100% of the time. Every now and then, they will give you a glimpse of the old passion. They will have sex with you, and it will be okay, maybe even good. This random reward keeps you in the casino, pulling the lever, hoping for the jackpot again. You think, see? They can do it. I just need to try harder. It is the most addictive form of psychological manipulation known to science. They often use physical neglect as a statement. They will let their hygiene go, gain weight, or stop grooming specifically for you, while maintaining their image for the outside world. This sends a clear message: you are not worth the effort. But if you let yourself go even an inch, they are vicious in their criticism. This double standard is meant to reinforce the hierarchy. They are the prize to be won. You are the lucky participant who should be grateful. Ultimately, the goal of sexual sabotage is erosion. They want to erode your identity as a sexual, desirable, powerful being. They want to hollow you out so that you become a shell, a manageable, controllable prop in their life movie. A confident partner might leave, a broken partner stays and serves. They are destroying your confidence to secure your tenure as their victim. The turning point arrives when you try to fix the unfixable. You hit a breaking point where the lack of intimacy or the constant criticism becomes unbearable. You decide to take action. You book a romantic getaway, you buy expensive lingerie, you lose the weight, you initiate a serious conversation. You pour your heart out about how much you miss them. You lay your vulnerability on the table like a sacrificial offering, hoping it will soften their heart. And how do they react? This is the knife in the gut. They look at your lingerie with a sneer and say, "You look ridiculous." They laugh at your tears and call you needy or obsessed with sex. They turn your attempt at connection into a moment of humiliation. They might even get angry, accusing you of pressuring them. The rejection is total. It is not just a no, it is a slap in the face. You realize with horror that your pain doesn't move them, it annoys them. Or, the sabotage becomes active during the act itself. You are finally being intimate, and you start to relax, start to feel good. Suddenly, they stop. They answer a text. They make a comment about the ceiling fan. They complain about a noise. They deliberately break the flow to snap you out of your pleasure. They are showing you that they can turn you on and turn you off like a light switch. They are asserting dominance over your nervous system. You might encounter the dead fish phenomenon. They agree to sex, but they lie there completely motionless, staring at the wall, sighing with boredom. They make you do all the work. They treat the act like a chore, like taking out the trash. This makes you feel like a rapist or a burden. It is a profound psychological violation to have sex with someone who is acting like a corpse. It destroys your desire more effectively than a refusal. The turning point deepens when they introduce pornography as a third party. They might demand you watch it with them, or act like the people on the screen. They criticize you for not being as flexible, as loud, or as hairless as the fantasy pixels. They are trying to replace the reality of you with a digital delusion. You realize you are not competing with a human, you are competing with an edited, artificial industry. It is a battle you cannot win. You start to notice the pre-sex fight. Like clockwork, every time a nice evening is leading towards intimacy, they pick a fight. They bring up an old grudge, criticize the dinner, or find a reason to explode. They storm off to sleep on the couch, leaving you confused and guilty. You think it was the argument that ruined the sex. No. The argument was manufactured to avoid the sex while blaming you for the conflict. It is a setup. The gaslighting reaches a fever pitch. "You're crazy," they say. "I'm just tired. Why is it always about sex with you?" They shame you for having a normal human drive. They pathologize your desire. You start to wonder if you are a sex addict, or if you are perverted. You start to apologize for wanting to be loved. This inversion of reality is the hallmark of the turning point. You are taking responsibility for their dysfunction. The triangulation becomes blatant. They might start liking photos of models on social media right in front of you, or commenting on how attractive the neighbor is. They are openly signaling that they do have a libido, just not for you.